the odi media buy ankasa crown oko Johannes Gutenberg 1468 and free at as for as so or known at the print media no e sha se the buy free minds Germany onumpo crown oko enti media na aba betena no enya die se e ba betwam now so one na we media bi te se me bi te se wo yen ye brebe so yedin be peja kakra na so nipa ntembo se ye nwu anko ye kra chi kra na ye bre so a na se ye fro akonya no koduru so a obetoda sania na sese yesane nanso se ebre no so na ye na ye boye so o ye ne adimu kan abasobode akese ne nketo ye ne frɛ de ma ye media no mu sika no ye ne yenya eye media no mu connection no ye na eba ye ho eno nti no se ye bekwati the principles of media, the core mandate of media, and I say ye betoto eye media no nasia afrache asunu mienu eko a aya nansensan ena ebre akasifo mienu eka wo tibo mu na se wo ko a enchiri ma no na ye beba betoto eye support host no majade ato ho no so wo mu bubu structures of media edit the professionalism when it comes to media yen the young journalist ayeba no ye na ye dasugo school the thousands the millions aye dasugo school ye agentete ye ne a ewo ye mu se ye pese ye bedane media personalities in the future no ye na when the structures shooks and na ebubu na anto the rightful places ye ne beba be higher adwen the likes of Chris Alalbila from GBC up onto BBC, the likes of Kwamla Dubo, we all know, from Joy up onto the BBC, the likes of Joe Gatti Mo, over to you, Joe Gatti, my commentary, Sabuta Frache, one hour when you know medium no, ebe kaisa and yama way. And about media nankasa krana. Ghana, hey, the media has gone through certain critical historical stages and son ababe pie baby ababe pie. Agona sante this year. Bear market Afrifa. Okatakyie nana. Ayi down ando. Ne dofoba a year Kelvin Echo Beidou Taylor. Media no be wo after you people. The media will be there for people to practice it thousands of years after the two of you. Some you can this year you know dear. And can more any kwan say mototo amani ani amamra se. Now so amani ani amamra ye di media no. Or this year Kevin Taylor. Some you ta social media ya metisu bi. Uhu da ye nyina. Emu sika mu chi no wadi bi tan wo bia. In fact, ebra wo sha ase di social media sika no sabio na nipa bebre ehun se social media no kra no etimi gbo akoma na ebedwe nse sabio tafra che kasa bi na wo pe na wo kasa keke. Okatakyie bema agona sante de hye okukudrofo ye nyina ye nim se de background sitie enei wo de ababeto online wo sheki honom yete ase adwuma na mu nyina mu ye no esefata ena media no stop say will be to mean declare a political affiliation. The likes of Stan Dogbe, he's a journalist, he's a politician. The likes of Kweku Bako, he's a journalist, he's a politician. The likes of Kwesi Pratt Jr., he's a journalist, he's a politician. Honorable Suhini in parliament as we speak. Obiaka Alaji and Alaji Good FM. And as a Radio Good. Obiakai, he's played his role. My own senior colleague, Kojo Upon Chroma. I mean, Yenia Ira English media, most of us saw him as our mentor, and clearly he's a very good communicator. in as much as he's got his political whatever ups and downs that we can talk about. But then we all know that these names that have been mentioned are all astute journalists and they are professionals in their field, yet have declared their political affiliations, stood for elections, ran campaigns and successfully won primaries, entered parliament, and have shown their disciplines or their capabilities. And affiliating yourself as a journalist to a political party ain't a bad idea. In 1822, that was when the first print media started on the shores of this country. And yet the Gold Coast Gazette, I shall say as a print, in 1822. The media, but media na transition ama and the media moved from 1822 from the Gazette, the Gold Coast Gazette, and moved into the ranks of 1932, sorry, where the GOY radio station was put up in the Gold Coast. And and 1957. Yete a year the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, the GBC. Any partner what Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, the GBC. Now, time they propagate the agenda of government and propaganda of government. Sadi pano okone krechi mfio wahani echirina yetimwe. But GBC still is. The media will never die. The media will transition from point A to point B, and yet it won't die. The people who caused the transition of the media will live and the media wouldn't die. From 1957 up until 1966 into the military regime. We also, when the military seized the media as one of its propagative apparatus, after the military regime, then came the Fourth Republic, when the Constitution of 1992 was established. Chapter 12 of the 1992 Constitution gave the media its freedom and weaned it off from all censorship. And I'm so Emma, a year private owners etumi share etete media stations. Emma want to me a practice. And then the traditional media, the government media, the private media, so na movie concurrently. In para, obia ye the juma, media has transitioned into social media. I will be to me ye one if you are me ye. The fact that media are transitioning from generations and into different forms or shapes up till and the principles of media have yet changed. They have rather deepened to be proper. They have rather deepened to be properly skewed towards proper education and proper communication, dissemination of information, breaking down information to the bearer's understanding of the normal Ghanaian or the consumer of the media space. The 1992 Constitution made it clear and gave the media so much power to the extent that it is enshrined in the Constitution as a fourth arm or realm of government. Antoniema Bibri, Anna, Kata media no. It's been ages since the GJA came about. It's got its core principles and mandate, safeguarding the proper media implementation, proper information dissemination, and proper positioning of the media. It checks what goes on. The National Communication, the NCA, is there to check what goes on, and all of these institutions, speaking of the National Communications, is enshrined. It's got a constitutional instrument that backs it and requires it to enforce proper implementation on the media space in this country. Media is not an exception to social media, which is why the National Communication has got a control. The media personalities also fall under certain critical organizations in this country, which means regardless the form of media you find yourself into, there's a certain level of regulation. If the regulation is failing, there is a nationalistic regulation enshrined in the 1992 Constitution to check how media is run. In saying a media no, and I say, a dear nekoso media no. Sabi utafrache. And Gasem women kabi. Now so assume you know air queen. Why na ochina yabebre? I am me as a young journalist. I go as a young journalist. I know what you know. When the systems and structures of the media is broken down, when the structures no longer hold, when the structures no longer work as it's supposed to work, I am no any best of the blunt. One here, but other na media mpo enkuta respect biya. You shall want to know your media personality. Not just a beautiful fracture. Why walk than it tibon kosubi. And so nay a him for media num. Men can question Okatakyie Afrifa on one casa agona asante agona this year. Etia konyaso. Enipa bebre enim say eye Kevin Taylor. Eye this year. Dia konya mani ye. Ya wa agoro bia yetumi die ewo media no so sabaya ubetumi adam adidi a kire ewiase nyina. Ya wa agoro bia yetumi die edu level bia na ejai. Nanso sede agodie ni bi esi economy mpesa mefa ne medwempo se eye serious ade. Mefa ne se eye agodie na se eye agodie ampa. It is affecting the core structures of media because Obita Okatakyie Afrifa wachi. Barima. Obita wachi den. Enkoma ya media hu hia me pa. It's been a long while metena live camera chi. It's been a very long time metena camera chi. Now so watching what is going on. No? But try say me friend eye me nua panyi Kevin Taylor. Ye nyina ye nim say edin so ye benya won. Ma try sabe free media panyin Afrifa. De ba ye de see ye. Enti e ma me ye sa move no eye say. Akwa akosi say afa de. Me ma me nie o ma me ayeden. Me ma me te baby papa na sabi utafrache Kevin Taylor usika. Ghana has say politicians ye chemu 10 emu 8 eniwo Kevin Taylor usika ni bi so pa me di sampa na me kana na na de kire Ghana for ni wiase manyina no Taylor sika do so papa sound so no Okatakyie Afrifa wote wo ho enti Odishe Taylor Ebani sika onye nkoda onye bayira abrewajo sika doso papa. Yes, it is very clear that you don't make those things very public. But anybody who has financial eye and financial understanding and also do understand what is happening in the social media, giving your numbers, giving the duration with which you've done this thing, I mean, you are there and gone. What a luxury. Bibia a year sikani editono. What a level no. Edina odi bi ye papa enema bebre. Ubi bi enuma sebe ya amanfo be ye bi. Enti sabio what way na sabi ordinary person kra na what US. Na prapra kwa ho kra ha no. Ne ma me neja ne na ba bi o moda de obese say game fan cast more because obia to kwan na so obia etu bata so okọ na oba behwefie na enyamu amodi kan mo bon krata papa bi na se bi utafrache o ha bia na moso na se bi yempo kra na yidi mochi no eto da yitimi gi ahome say I try na nyamo ba bia madri Okatakyie be maba wanya bi owo bi wo be mamu ti akonwa so wo dom tawachi akwantu yi open na wote wo Ghana ye wakono nti na wote ha ba bibia ni wonu mo wo wiase mo wontumi nko enye se bi obi abotiri na obetumi de etwa wo mpoa asante agona de hye papa bi tikane bi wo adisua no so wasua bia first degree for second degree for hwan enje ye bia woda so chere exam so kra wo gimpa na chese se bi utafrache bibie no hono mo obi de sen ho na se bi eno batampa akoda so meda so and therefore said ye na natwene bo akodua de ne tigi akyerema said ye be ye niema beta dinti said ye na ye nana ya santoa esori tigi na ye eyi dufo isabi otafrache to abonten say ye nyina ye meno ano bi ekabo mu somewhere 1902 so what the jiachrema aje the same custom, tradition and culture you cherish so much today at the the sacrifices of the stools when the then Otumfu Asantehene will say to the first and his closest ally, Komfanoche. The rest of the Ashanti chiefs gave up their stools in place of the black stool, cumulating or amalgamating its powers into the golden stool. Sacrifices were made to keep certain systems and structures working. As long as the 18th centuries, the 17th, the 20th, we are headed into the 22nd century of our lifetime, and sacrifices ought to be made to preserve certain customs, cultures, rules, certain regulations to ensure that the future is protected. That of the media is now under serious question and under serious distinction just because of certain portrayals that you, Okatakyie, Afrifa, and Taylor exhibited, and I say exhibit, in the media landscape. This is a threat. You know better. You have achieved better. Let's put an end to the dogmatization of the media today. God bless our home, America.